Hello everyone, this is HuskyStarcraft here, back with some more Ladder Anxiety series, and this time it is my very first game on the actual ladder. There are real-life ladder points on the line, although nothing I can lose, because since it's my first game, my ladder points are currently sitting at 0, but this is going to be my very first ladder game. I think he's trying to scare me a little bit with that Korean, but I'm not going to fall for it. I'm not going to fall for it, man. I am not scared of you at all. Spawning up the top right side, it is going to be H to the Husky. But anyways, I believe that this one was a PBT, if I recall correctly. I actually didn't check just because I wanted to cast it on the fly. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's a PBT. The map is going to be Star Station, and for those of you keeping track at home, I'm currently 5-0 on my placement matches, but that doesn't really mean anything. 4 of my placement matches were against like bronze level players, and I definitely know I can say with 100% certainty that I am not in Bronze League. Not that there's anything wrong with being in Bronze League, I just know my personal level is past that, so it was a little bit one-sided. I kind of feel bad. Hopefully you guys can forgive me, but now I'm going to be playing against players my own level and maybe even a little bit higher, because it might look at that 5-0 and be like, all right, Husky, we're going to throw someone at you a little bit more difficult to see if you can see if you're man enough. We'll make a man out of you. That's what Blizzard's telling me right now with their ladder matchmaking. But anyways, this map is quite a large map. Not one of my favorite maps. It's just kind of a, I don't know what it is about this map. There's just something that's kind of like, meh. You guys know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. I don't know what it is. There's just nothing really special about it, I guess. The gas guys look kind of cool, which I'm always okay with. But anyways, gonna go ahead and do my standard opener that I usually do, and I'm going to attempt to harass the Terran opponent. We'll see how this goes though, because you got to remember that I've only played essentially 6 games since Heart of the Swarm came out, and the opener for Protoss is completely different. If you want to be going for a Mothership Core, you got to make sure to get your gas quickly enough. So I'm still trying to figure out the opener, and the fact of the matter is I've only played 6 games, so many mistakes will always be made. However, that is always the point of Ladder Anxiety, is to watch the mistakes and learn from them. Now, a friendly reminder, I'm going to be uploading every single game that I play on 1v1, no matter how bad it is. If I accidentally kill my own Nexus in the beginning of the game and it's a 4-minute game, I'm going to upload it. If I lose to a Zergling Run-By at 3 minutes, I'm going to upload it. No matter what happens, I'm going to upload it. Now, I did spot the factory up there. I'm going to go ahead and double-check just to make sure. Minor misclick's going to cost that probe its life. But honestly, at this stage of the game, losing that probe was worth confirming that there was a factory there. That's going to tell me basically everything about what he's going to do here, which, in my opinion, my guess at the time, and what tends to end up being correct, is that he's going to be going for early Widow Mines. You got to remember that Widow Mines are very good versus players who are not prepared for them at all. And so what that means is that someone like me has to really realize, okay, we're going to be running into lots of Widow Mines while playing on Heart of the Swarm, and that's what I'm preparing for mentally anyway. So I have my Mothership Core out, got my Stalker on the way. I am supply blocked right now. I believe it is this game. Yes, it's kind of coming back to me right now as I played this game a little bit earlier, but it is this game where I do not have any luck with my pylon placement. Every time I go to place a pylon, I accidentally place a cannon, or I forget to place a pylon. So basically, you'll see me get supply blocked a lot in this game, and you'll see how much it affects the timing of my actually getting maxed out. And then at the end, it'll show you how long I was supply blocked. So this game, I can already tell you without rewatching it and seeing it kind of unfold without focusing on being the actual player in the game, that my supply block was definitely my biggest weakness. And it's one of those things where the supply block is kind of tricky, because with workers, the best tip you can give to a new player is just constantly build workers. The chances you're going to get to a situation where you have too many workers is very little if you are a brand new player. What I mean by that is that too many workers tends to be like 80 plus, depending on the game. The amount of time it takes to build 80 workers, the majority of low-level games are either going to be still on one base, or one player has expanded several times and is just overwhelming their opponents. So pylons, though, are not quite like that, because as we've said before, I mean, probes and pylons, drones and overlords, SCVs and supply depots, you want to be making those the entire game. What I try and do is get the timings right on those pylons, instead of just throwing down pylons willy-nilly and being like, oh, I need 8 pylons now, so I'm going to do that. Instead of trying to do that, what I attempt to do is throw them down right when you need them, but that's never a good idea at my level of play, and I honestly recommend building a little excess in pylons, which I know sounds weird. It may not sound right, but you'll see in this game just how much I actually get supply block. So anyways, I scouted him out. I was going to do the Mothership Core Stalker harassment at the entrance of the base. The reason I decided not to do that is because since I know he's going for Widow Mines, I know that they could be burrowed anywhere on the map. Get out there, Observer. Okay, I actually managed to save that Observer, and I see the Widow Mine right here. This is the confirmation that I need that he is indeed going for Widow Mine. So I spotted that, and I know that he is indeed going to get that. And I don't personally want to rely on my micro at this point. And the reason I say that, I also am noticing these barracks, by the way. This is huge. That is a big, big tell as to what's going on in his base. So going to go ahead and throw down the Robo, because I don't think that Vikings are going to be a threat, as I do see also the engineering bay. Oh, there's so much to talk about. All right, so I didn't want to rely on my micro attacking the Widow Mines because Widow Mines take no micro. Here's a drop in my base, by the way, which I did not realize was happening. So I go ahead and transfer those probes. Thankfully, I got the probes away in time. And my Mothership Core gets taken out. And really, you know, they killed a probe or two there. No major loss. And actually, the timing couldn't be better because I already have an expansion. So I'm going to lose very little mining time right here. The only thing is that my Observer was slightly out of position. And as you can see, I do hotkey my Observers. But when I make multiple Observers, I'm still really bad at navigating through where my Observers are. They're just a tricky unit to keep track of, to be quite frank. So I'm going to go ahead and move these probes so they don't get hit. But I do have my Observer here. The Photon Overcharge is going to be able to clean that up, and I'll be able to transfer my workers back in. But definitely, the saving grace of what happened right there is that I was able to spot the Widow Mines in time and move my probes away, because he somehow, I didn't see the starport in his base. I don't know where it's at. It might be proxied on the map somewhere. He somehow managed to get Widow Mines into my base, which is not good, but not as bad as losing probes. So the fact that he invested so much in a drop that really didn't do anything, I assume it's a drop. He might have actually had a factory down there now that I think about it. I don't know. Either way, he was able to get those Widow Mines in my base. So I know he's going for a harassment style because I have a feeling he's not going to go for a factory, a drop, or even just lifting the factory into my base and then just stop with the harassment. So in my mind as Protoss, I'm thinking, all right, we are approaching that 10 to 15 minute mark where Terran players really can get a lot of momentum. This is where I'm actually getting a little bit scared. I'm not going to expand. That's a bad idea right now. I'm going to warp in Stalkers at that mineral line, so we can't really do anything about it. I do have one Colossus now done, and again, the supply block just absolutely kicking my butt. I don't even need to mention that anymore, but looks like a drop is going to be moving into my expansion as well, and thankfully for me, once again, got to go ahead and grab these probes and get them out of there. Basically, how I detected that is that I heard the Stalker shooting the medevac. This is why game sounds are so important. And I knew, okay, why are my Stalkers shooting something? So I remember in the game, I had a quick thought, like, all right, I hear things attacking. I'm obviously not telling them to do that. There's something fishy going on here. So I was able to detect where that was before the Widow Mine did anything. Unfortunately, there was that Observer getting taken out. Losing Observers is something I have got to improve on. I end up losing Observers a lot. So at this point in the game, I want to tell you how I'm feeling just a little bit so that maybe if you're in a similar situation, you can feel about the same. So first of all, I didn't take damage from the Widow Mine drop. That is huge. Second of all, the second drop of that Widow Mine... Oh, I have a bad rally point right there. Just realized that. I'll have to clean that one up. Unfortunately, the idle worker button's kind of hard to even notice. And I mean, look at the bottom left side. Like, who would look at that? There we go. Got those guys going back to work. Minor mistakes are always made in games, though, and that's why practice makes perfect. Although you can't really be perfect at StarCraft. So practice makes you make less mistakes, I think is the best way to put it. So anyways, probe saturation a little bit weird because they transfer away. But anyways, how I'm feeling in this game, my supply blocks have been very brutal. And they continue to be brutal throughout this whole game. I remember that he scanned and saw my Colossus. Now, I'm actually happy that he saw my Colossus. The reason I'm happy he saw my Colossus is because I had already planned to go for High Templar anyway. And these Colossus were it's kind of weird to say it like this, but they were defensive Colossus. I'm also going to be hiding... God, there's so much to talk about, I can't even say it all. I'm going to be hiding an expansion down the bottom right side because he has already proven that he is very active with drops on the top right side where I'm at. So I want to hide a base here because I personally feel like he's not going to attack me. The supply block, what happened here is I meant to build a pylon and I built cannons by accident. So that is why that supply block is so freaking bad. But anyways, the way I'm feeling in this game is actually pretty good because I already know what he's doing, if that makes sense. I already know that he went one factory, he used it for some Widow Mines, he used it for some drops, and he has enough barracks to warrant the fact that he is going to be going for Marine and Marauder. Now, once again, I am going to be spotting this drop. Go ahead and get my probes out of there, and this is what you have to do as Protoss. You have to find ways to deal with these drops. Notice how the cannon bought just enough time. Photon Overcharge again. I'm actually using the Photon Cannon, Photon Overcharge to focus down that medevac. And again, I know what this player is doing. I don't need to go scout their base. I don't need to do anything like that. I know what he's doing. He's trying to go for, oh god, the bad rally point. This is something that I do a lot, and you can't do that. That is a big no-no. So that was a rally point from when I made an observer, and unfortunately I forgot to change it, so my Colossus wandered over there. So that was actually a good play by the Terran player. Also baiting me into the Widow Mine was quite nice. But the Viking's not going to be able to kill off any more Colossus. I'm going to go over here and try and kill off a Viking. I'll get one. And that's going to be that. I don't think I kill off the second one at all. No, it gets out of vision. So, anyways, I'm feeling good because I feel still like I'm dictating the pace of the game, even though I'm playing very defensively, which is actually just kind of my play style in general, especially versus Terran. He did slip that drop in there, though, and that's going to get lots of probe kills. But I still am feeling okay. I know this sounds ridiculous because I've just been getting slowly whittled down this whole time. But the fact that he's being so aggressive, and I've seen several drops take place, and I was able to kill the medevac, I know just based on how the game has been going that he doesn't have a third base. And that's making me feel very, very good. Because, yes, I'm losing some of my army, but at the same time, guess what? I just got a Twilight Council up. I can get a Templar Archives. I can work towards my Psystorm. And I can't emphasize this enough. I know what he's doing. So if I can make it past the 17-minute mark, I'm going to start feeling great because I'm going to get closer to more upgrades. I'm going to get closer to more Psystorm, and my Colossus are always relevant. There we go. Slight misclick there. Not the best place for that. Go ahead and get you guys back into gas, and my saturation is not looking great, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer some workers over. 18 there and 7 down here. Now, the reason I didn't transfer probes to this expansion, and I'm literally just building up the expansion kind of as is with the one Nexus building all the workers, is because I didn't want him to spot the fact that they were transferring. Like that scan right there, for example, if I transferred workers right when he scanned, he would have spotted it. If he had a Widow Mine down there, it would kill all the probes. There's a lot of reasons that I didn't send those units there, because actually right now I'm feeling okay just on this one, or just on these two bases. Normally at a high level game, I wouldn't feel okay, but just how this game's been going, I was feeling just fine. And I'm still dropping cannons down here because I need to make sure those drops don't do lots of damage. I had the expansion down here continually making units, and I have my High Templar out now. Now, what I'm going to do is hide these High Templar a little bit. I am hovering a little bit of money, so I know that I need to throw down additional gateways, and I also have I need to start researching Psystorm right now. So basically what I'm going to do is add on some gateways. Unfortunately, my probe's taking the long way around. I definitely felt flustered during this game because my building layout was horrible and I didn't have pylon coverage over my base, so I just felt like I couldn't spend my money quickly enough. I definitely didn't have what I would call a groove going on in this game. I have noticed for some reason when I hold shift to build buildings that my computer, I don't know if it's the computer or the game, but it freezes every time I do that. So I got to kind of figure that out. I don't think it's sticky keys. I'm pretty sure I disabled sticky keys. But anyways, that is kind of my thought process so far. I would say that I never really got any kind of momentum going that was like, nailing all my chronos, nailing my upgrade timing, nailing my my army composition. But one thing you'll notice that I'm doing is actually hiding my I'm hiding my High Templar. I don't care if he sees the Colossus at this point, because you know what homie's doing? He's constantly scanning my army to see what's in there, and he doesn't know about these High Templar over here in the corner of my base. So that is exactly what I want to have happen. Now, he may have noticed the Templar Archives, but I don't know if he realizes how many High Templar I actually have. I do have a lot of money here, but now that these warp gates are kind of kicking in, I'm basically 2 warp-ins away from being maxed out. If you look at it, I have, I believe, 9 warp gates, maybe more. There's 9 off of cooldown right now. But that's going to be a lot of supply in units. It will max me out. So at this point, I'm feeling really good. The main concern I have isn't really about spending my money. It's just about getting the right unit composition. Notice that I don't have that many Zealots. The reason I don't have that many Zealots is because I know he's got a lot of Vikings right now and not a lot of Hellbats or anything that is really going to put an imminent threat just by rushing directly at me. So the Hellbats are one. I almost messed this up really badly because thankfully they were guarded by Zealots and they tried to run into the corner right there. But Note the feedback on the medevac. I did not want this army to escape because he's been very focused on drops. I think he's been expecting these drops to do a lot more damage. I've been able to kind of weather the storm. Now here he goes. He actually just made a huge mistake right here. You came to the wrong neighborhood, son. He's going to be running right into my army. And this actually could not be better timing for me. This is literally the second that is best for me. The reason I say that is because I just got maxed out. My production cycle was up again, so losing a couple units here and there is fine. I just got my Psystorm, still have my Colossus. His drop got cleaned up, and he decides to attack, which I couldn't have asked for anything better there. So really this game, what I did incorrectly was get supply blocked a lot. What I did correctly, and I didn't scout nearly enough. But I did have a pretty good idea what he was doing the entire game. But anyways, so I would say scouting and supply block were my biggest blunders this game. What I did, I think, okay, was the hidden expansion in the bottom right side, being patient and correctly predicting based on his playstyle what he was going to be getting and dealing with the drops in a relatively cost-effective manner. So unfortunately the recording stops here. I don't show the graphs or anything like that, but I am able to win my very first legit ladder game. So I'm currently 6-0. Let me know how you guys are doing in your games so far. If you have played 6 games and if you're following along, just let me know how you're doing so far. If not, let me know how you're doing overall. If you've played more than 6 games, that's great. Highly recommend that. Just let me know how you do down below. And also, if you haven't played your game today, this is what ladder anxiety is all about. Go play your next game. Let me know how you do down below, and I love to read them when I'm going to bed. It's kind of cool, kind of fun. Been having a lot of fun with this series. You guys have been so supportive. Thank you so much for everything, but man, it's going to start putting me against players who will punish me to no end for those mistakes. Don't worry, those players are out there, but remember, I will be casting every single game. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time.